welcome to my class. My name's Lizzie, and today is just a short morning sequence to get you up and ready for your day. So it's a bit of a focus on back bends. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy. Just a little reminder, this is an online class, like a YouTube class. I won't be liable for anything that you do. So really take it easy throughout. Listen to your body, listen to what feels good, listen to what doesn't feel good, and yeah, just enjoy yourself. This is all about you. This is a self-care practice for you. Okay, so let's all begin in Supta Baddha Konasana. So, placing the soles of your feet together, letting the knees drop to either side, letting them come down as far as is comfortable. And then coming onto your forearms just to begin with, and then gently lower your spine, lower your torso, your back onto the ground, letting the back of your head rest on the mat. Maybe placing your hands either side of your thighs, or you can have them on your belly. Just find a place that feels good for you. And let's just begin by arriving in the space here and now in this moment. Park any worries, concerns, plans, lists at the door or at the gate, wherever you are, if you're outdoor like me. Just tuning in now into the body, into the breath, mind. And how would you like to feel today? And how are you feeling today? And maybe scanning from the head down to the feet and back up again, just observing for how you're feeling, the mind and the body, how are they doing today? Maybe you're feeling relatively calm and relaxed, or maybe you're feeling a little bit tender stressed. That's fine too. It doesn't really matter how you're feeling. Just being aware of how you are feeling, which is good. And notice that we feel different every single day. Moments always pass. Every situation is temporary. But hopefully if you are sort of feeling a little bit tender, today's practice will ease out that tension through stretching and relaxation at the end. So begin by deepening your breath, deepening your inhalations and your exhalations, noticing the natural rhythm and quality as it is. As you begin to deepen your inhalations and your exhalations, noticing a calming sensation come over the body, the mind. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the chest. Noticing the expansion of the torso, the rib cage from the sides, and then from the top down. As you inhale, the belly rises. As you exhale, the belly falls. Really see if you can synchronize the breath with the movement of the belly. You may even wish to place your hands on your belly, which can just help you to focus your breath in this present moment. So every time your thoughts start to wander, just come back to observing your breath here and now, maybe observing the movement of the belly with the breath as well. You can also imagine that your thoughts are like clouds in a deep blue sky. Just let those clouds float away. Let the thoughts float away. You can also imagine that your thoughts are like waves in an ocean. Let the wave come and then let the wave wash over you. Noticing all points of contact of the body against the ground. So when we first wake up and we start practicing yoga, it's great to just gently ease into the movement because we can be quite stiff to begin with. And we can be quite sleepy and tired as well. As you begin to feel more grounded, more present in the moment with the body and the breath, gently in towards one another, placing your hands on your thighs if they weren't already there. Drawing the knees in, take an inhalation, draw the knees towards the forward. Give yourself a good squeeze, a good hug. Exhale, release the head back down. And dropping the feet down onto the mat. Pressing your hands, your palms into the mat as well. And from here, exhale, begin to push the pelvis and the hips up, squeezing the glutes. Keep those legs parallel and just making sure your legs are hip distance apart. Keep pushing and squeezing those glutes, and then roll the shoulders under, interlocking the hands, pushing the forearms into the ground, coming into bridge pose. Breathe. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So as you push the hips up, squeezing the glutes, keep those legs parallel and keep pushing the soles of your feet into the mat. Breathe. Breathe into the belly, massaging the internal organs, and getting a nice little back bend here. Keep holding and breathing in and out through the nostrils for as long as you can. And then when you're ready, very gently release, coming down one vertebrae at a time, then unrolling those shoulders. And then gently draw the knees back in towards the chest. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, drop them down. Maybe rolling over now, coming onto your hands and your knees, then sitting back on your heels for a moment, coming into Virasana, hero pose. Not the full hero pose, but just sitting back on those heels. Keep the shoulders rolled back and down, the spine straight. Bring the hands together, take an inhalation, raise the arms overhead so they're in line with the ears. Exhale, bring the arms out to the sides, cactus the arms, really open up the chest, the heart space. Inhale, raise the arms overhead, palms together. Exhale, cactus the arms. Really open up that space, really bring the shoulder blades onto your rib cage. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Really stretching out through the side body, the intercostal muscles. Exhale, cactus the arms. And then further exhale, drop the shoulders, the hands, interlock the hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. And then exhale, begin to fold forward, keeping that navel tucked in towards the spine. And then see if you can draw your arms up vertically, squeezing those shoulder blades. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. Breathe. And then very slowly inhale, come all the way back up. Breathe. And then gently come back to center. Then from here, bringing your hands to the front of your mat, really bringing your weight into the fingertips, making sure your hands are shoulder distance apart, making sure that your knees are directly below your hips. And then walk your hands a bit further forward so that your forehead comes onto the ground. So I'd like your knees and your hips to be in line, bottom in line. So you may wish to, if that's too strong for you, you can place a block or a pillow underneath your forehead on the mat. Otherwise, just come all the way down. So you're really working on the muscles on the tops of the shoulders now, the deltoids, the rotator cuffs, but also the muscles on the upper back. Breathe, really opening up that heart space, puppy pose, also known as melting pose, melting heart pose. Breathe. Can you find that stillness in the breath?
Can you find the breath, the calming breath, breathing in and out through the nostrils? Very slowly walking the hands back in to center now. Okay. Making sure your hands are directly below your shoulders, your knees are directly below your hips. Just checking that your tailbone is tucked in ever so slightly, but also just checking that the sacrum, which is that flat bone just at the base of the spine, is flat as well. So if you really stick your bottom out and you're tilting the pelvis essentially, but we want our pelvis to be neutralized. So protracting the shoulders for a moment, keeping the back straight. We're just going to move into a nice little cat-cow sequence. And the reason we do a nice little cat-cow sequence is just so we're waking up that spine. We're also working on the muscles along the spine. And it's nice just to work the spine when we've done like quite an intense sort of stretch on the back essentially, which is what we did in puppy pose. So taking an inhalation, tilt the head back, stick the bottom out. So really engaging the muscles on the back here, stretching the muscles on the front. Exhale, tuck that tailbone, drop the crown of the head, draw the navel in, round the back, belly in, cat. So really stretching the muscles on the back now and engaging the muscles on the front. Inhale. Back to cow, tilt the head back, stick the bottom out. Exhale to cat. Really round the back, tuck the tailbone in, crown of the head drops. Inhale to cow, tilt the head back. Exhale to cat. Round that back, tuck that tailbone in. Inhale to cow, stick the bottom out, tilt the head back, drop the belly. Exhale to cat, draw that navel in, round the back, tuck the tailbone in. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And just do a few more of those on your own. Enjoying the movement of the spine, the pelvis. And then when you're ready, very slowly coming back to center and then dropping onto your forearms and your belly. Just beginning in Sphinx pose. So in Sphinx pose, I'd like your elbows to be directly below your shoulders, coming onto your forearms, and maybe just spreading your legs out so your feet are in the corners of the mat. And then rather than just sinking down really low into the shoulders, push the shoulders. So push the shoulders up. Bring the chest up as well, look straight ahead. So we're getting a gentle back bend here. Breathe. Pushing your pelvis, your pubic bone into the ground here. So if you're finding this quite strong on your lower back already, you can just slide those arms a little bit more forward, which then drops your belly a bit more onto the ground as well. So it just all depends on how your spine feels this morning. But we're just aiming at working towards opening up that chest, that heart space. And you know, when we are feeling a little bit tender, a little bit stressed, a little bit down, opening up that heart space, that chest space is really great for bringing positive emotion to the body. Then very slowly exhale, lower the head all the way down, bring your arms out to the side. So cactus those arms, so I'd like your shoulders and your elbows to be in line, and then you're sort of bringing right angles now to the lower arms and the hands. Bringing your forehead onto the mat. Bring the feet in together, point the toes, engage those glutes. Take an inhalation, lift the head and the chest, and then the arms. And noticing the engagement of the muscles on the upper back and the lower back. Breathe. Exhale, lower all the way down. On your next inhalation, squeeze the glutes, lift the head, the chest, and the arms again. Breathe. Exhale, lower all the way down. One more time. Inhale, lift the head and the chest, arms. So really engaging that lower back and upper back. Breathe. Exhale, lower all the way down. Again, now bringing your arms out a little bit further out, just a little bit, bringing your weight into your fingertips. And you've almost got your arms again at right angles, but they are lifted a bit further off the ground now. On your next inhalation, I'd like you to squeeze your glutes, lift your chest and then your head. Inhale. Exhale, lower from the lower belly, and then moving to the chest and then the head. Again, on your next inhalation, lift the chest, then the head. Exhale, lower all the way down from the bottom down to the head. Again, always squeeze those glutes on the inhalation, lifting the chest, the head. Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. So just working on a series of variations for Cobra here. This is really practice first thing in the morning. Again, on your next inhalation, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest and the head. And then I just like you to move a little bit into those arms. So just a bit of free flow here with anything that feels good for you. So maybe bending the elbows, pushing towards the left arm or the right. Up as you can, and then bring the head last to come up, almost in a wave-like motion. Keep a micro bend in the elbows, coming into full cobra. Exhale, lower down, moving all the way down with the head the last to come down. Again, inhale, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest, micro bend in the elbows, and then bring the head up. Keep those shoulders roll back and down. Exhale, lower the head all the way. Again, taking an inhalation, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest, engage that core, then lift the head. Cobra pose. And then just hold here for a few moments. Breathe. And then exhale, lower the head all the way down. Then from here, pushing into the hands, coming up onto your knees. So, coming into tabletop again after coming up from Cobra pose. Bring your hands to the front of your mat, at the top of the mat, making sure your hands are shoulder distance apart, bringing your weight into your fingertips. Imagine you've got a bit of suction going on between your hands and the palms. Bringing your weight into your tippy toes. You're going to move into our first downward dog. And then I'd like you to exhale and then begin to lift those knees. And then as you begin to lift those knees, can you push those hips up and back? Okay, and as you push the hips up and back, maybe pushing into the hands a little bit, pushing that sort of chest down, and then see if you can work towards pushing those thighs and the hips up and back, and then maybe pedaling out your legs, making sure your feet are hip distance apart. Let's just take 5 breaths here, and just pedal the legs, breathing in and out through the nose. Breathe. Okay.
You may wish to point the toes in slightly so you're internally rotating the thighs. Maybe taking a nice little bend in the knees as well, which can help to push those hips a bit further up too. Taking an inhalation, raising the right leg up high. So we're going to swing the leg through and bring it in between our hands. So this can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So inhale, draw that knee in towards your chest, carry it all the way forward, and then see if you can kick it in between the hands.
Okay. Coming into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So you're bringing your weight into your fingertips. I like your knee and your ankle to be aligned. Your weight can bring it in your tippy toes and your back foot as well. Or the top of the foot can be completely flat, looking straight ahead. Okay, so you're pushing your hips forward and down in Anjaneyasana, but you're also creating a sense of buoyancy. So squeezing those inner thighs and maybe ever so slightly drawing that pelvis up a little bit, because by drawing that pelvis up a little bit, you're engaging the core then, so you're squeezing those pelvic floor muscles. And then from here, take an inhalation, lift that torso up, straighten the torso, and just notice the stretch in the left hip flexor now, but also in the right hip flexor. Drawing those shoulders back and down, really reaching towards the ground with your hands, really working on pushing your shoulder blades onto your rib cage. Breathe very slowly now, keeping that torso straight. Take an inhalation, raise the arms. Feeling a good stretch in the side body, in the obliques and in the intercostal muscles, keeping that buoyancy, that engagement of the pelvic floor. Breathe. And then taking hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Exhale, then laterally stretch to the right hand side. Again, feeling a good stretch in the left hand side of the body, in the intercostal muscles, the obliques, but also in the upper and the lower back. See if you can keep your hips square as well, strong legs. And then very slowly inhale, come back to center. And always just checking your feet. We're always working from the ground up in yoga. Noticing the Pada Bandha, the ground to foot lock, and just keep pushing your weight into your big toes and across the 4 points in your feet. So that's your big toes, the balls at the front of your foot and the back of the foot, and all the little toes too. Bring the hands together. And then see if you can just tilt back ever so slightly, but tilting from the rib cage opposed to tilting from the lower back. So keep that lower back straight and then just tilt ever so slightly, and see if you can exhale when you tilt, maybe bringing your gaze to your hands. And then when you're ready, very slowly exhale. Bring your fingertips onto the mat, maybe dropping the palms. Bring your weight into your left tippy toes, and then bring your right foot to meet your left foot back into a downward dog. So again, making sure your feet are hip distance apart, really spreading the weight in your hands and into the palms of your hands, maybe pedaling out the legs. Taking an inhalation, raising the left leg up high, sweep it or step it through, carrying that knee all the way forward and then kicking it in between the hands, dropping the right knee to the ground. Okay. So again, just ever so slightly drawing that pelvis up by creating that buoyancy, engaging the pelvic floor, but at the same time pushing it forward and down. So you're really creating a strong, balanced movement of stability in that hip area. Take an inhalation, raise the torso up straight. Roll those shoulders back and down. Just checking that the knee and the ankle are aligned of the left leg. Really pulling down towards the ground, reaching towards the ground with your fingers. Bringing the shoulder blades onto the rib cage, looking straight ahead. Breathe. Taking an inhalation now, raising the arms so they're in line with the ears. And then sort of keep breathing. Take hold of the right wrist with your left hand. Exhale, laterally bend to the left hand side. So you're really sort of stretching out the right hand side of the body, the obliques, the intercostal muscles on the rib cage. Breathe. Try and keep the hips square and balanced, creating that stability. Inhale, very slowly come back to center. Keep the arms up again. Bring the palms together. Maybe look up to the palms, and that can sometimes affect your balance a little bit as well. Maybe bringing the top of the back foot down. And then exhale, just bending from the rib cage ever so slightly, opening up that heart space. Exhale, back to center. Breathe in and out through the nose. Exhale, cactus the arms, so bring the elbows in line with the shoulders. Really open up that heart space. Breathe. Then release the arms down, interlock the hands behind the back, squeeze those shoulders, and again exhale, just ever so slightly back bend from the rib cage. Keep breathing, open up that chest, that heart space. And then very slowly inhale, come back to center. Drop the hands onto the ground, bringing your weight into the fingertips. And bring your exhale, bring your right foot to meet your left foot into a forward fold. Bring a good bend into the knees now. And then maybe taking hold of opposite elbows, hanging in ragdoll, letting the head hang loose. And then very slowly coming up one vertebrae by vertebrae at a time. Inhale, come all the way up with the head the last to come up to center. Keeping the feet together. Maybe sort of your heels are slightly apart, bringing your hands to heart center. And let's just take a moment here to gather our breath, our thoughts, our mind, just bringing them present to this moment here and now. And we'll just take one round of a sun salutation sequence before we end our practice. Keeping the tailbone tucked in, looking straight ahead, beginning in Pramanasana, prayer pose. Taking an inhalation circle, sweeping the arms up, overhead into Hasta Uttanasana. Maybe taking a tiny little back bend from the rib cage. And then exhale, forward fold, head to knees. Bring a good bend to the knees. Inhale, step that left foot back, left knee to the ground into Anjanasana, low lunge. Drop the palms. Bring the right foot to meet the left foot, coming into a plank. So tucking that tailbone in, bringing your shoulders over your wrists, looking straight ahead. Engage the core. Exhale, either dropping your knees or coming down all the way, bending the elbows, keep them tucked in, dropping everything down, point the toes. Then inhale, begin to lift the chest and then the head. Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower the head all the way down, pushing into the hands, bringing your weight into your tippy toes, lift the hips, the knees and the chest up and back into a downward dog. So again, just pedaling those legs out just a moment, and then taking an inhalation, raising the right leg up high, sweep it or step it through in between the hands, dropping the left knee to the ground into Anjanasana. Exhale, bring the left foot to meet the right foot into a forward fold, head to knees. Inhale, raise the arms. Overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Okay, bring your hands to heart center again into Pramanasana, prayer pose. Inhale, raise the arms. overhead. Maybe take a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Good bend in the knees, head to knees. Inhale, step the right foot back, right knee to the ground, into a low lunge, looking straight ahead. Drop the palms, bring the left foot to meet the right foot, straighten your torso, tuck that tailbone in, into plank pose. Breathe, either dropping the knees to the ground and then exhaling, keeping that elbows tucked in, coming all the way down, dropping the head to the ground, point the toes, inhale, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest and then the head, micro bend in the elbows, cobra. Exhale, lower all the way down. Pushing into the hands, lift the hips, the knees and the chest up and back into a downward dog. Pushing the mat away from the hands. Your hands are shoulder distance apart, the feet are hip distance apart. Inhale, raise that left leg up high. Sweep it or step it through in between the hands, coming into a low lunge. Anjanasana, dropping the right knee to the ground. Again, remember pushing those hips forward and down, but creating a sense of buoyancy. Exhale, bring the right foot to meet the left foot into forward fold, head to knees. Inhale, raise the arms. Overhead, Hasta Uttanasana. Exhale into prayer, Pramanasana. And let's just take a moment here, closing the eyes, bringing a micro bend into the knees, gathering our breath, noticing the energizing practice, noticing the energizing benefits of the sequence, the sun salutation sequence, noticing the blood flowing around the body, the oxygen flowing around the body. And just taking a moment now just to observe how you're feeling now compared to the start of the practice. And if there is any sort of remaining tension now left in the body, so maybe taking a scan from the head down to the feet and back up again. And if there is any remaining tension, take a deep inhalation through the nose. And then exhale out that tension through the mouth. Deep inhalation through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Deep inhalation through the nose. Exhale out that tension through the mouth. As any remaining tension leaves the body becomes calm, the mind becomes calm, and the breath becomes calm. Reminding yourself of how you're feeling today and how you would like to feel today and for the rest of the day. So maybe taking yourself back to a really positive memory. Visualize the memory in the entire being of your body. And say, today I will feel. Let that circulate. And then gently thanking yourself for practicing yoga today. Self-care practice for you. Namaste. And thank you for practicing yoga with me this morning.